Hello dear students, just let me know whether you are able to see my screen or not. It's not fully visible, I guess. Are you able to see the screen? Screen is cut. Okay, yeah, that's why I'm asking. Now are you able to see the screen? Okay, there are once check out and please give me the update. Okay, graphics is so let's start with our discussion. So before I'm proceeding with the discussion, I'm trying to convey one thing. This session is just a quick recap of all the topics which we are going to see in our SDC 2.2. So for the tomorrow's exam. So before I proceed with the session, I want to give you few important instructions. Please look at that. So what are the important instructions which I want to tell you is, first instruction for you, for all the students, please maintain your question paper in this way. I hope you are able to see the screen. Just face cam, yes sir. Okay. Yes. So I hope you are able to see the screen now. So I just want to tell you, this is an important instruction which you need to follow before I am going with a quick review recap of the topics. Please maintain this, otherwise your question paper is not going to be corrected. So you have to in the booklet, whatever is the answer booklet which you have, in that answer booklet you can keep the front page empty and you can start writing from the back side. In the front page you just mention part A, part B, part C, how many number of questions are there. So that number of questions you can mention, and your answers A, B, C, D. This should be the front page of every student. So once the front page is over, then you can go with the next, like once the front page is completed, then you can go back and start with your explanation. Okay, that is an important instruction which I want to convey before we proceed with the questions. Okay, and now if you look at the okay, so if you look at the syllabus for the examination, you can observe the syllabus. First unit, time and distance, trains and boats. Second unit, dice, cubes, syllogisms and seating arrangement. Third unit, you are going to see it as clocks. Okay, this is what is your overall syllabus. Yeah, so in unit number 3 we have another topic also, that is calendars. So that calendar topic is not available for our examination. And if you look at the first topic, we'll start from the last. The first topic is going to be clocks. So in the clocks, what type of questions which we are going to get, that we'll try to observe. So basically from the clocks you can see two types of questions. The first type of question, time is given for us, we need to find out the angle. This is the first type of question which you are going to see. And the second type of question is, angle is given, we have to find out the time. So these are the two types of questions which you are going to see under the clocks. So first type is, time is given, angle we need to find out. The second type is, angle is given, time we need to find out. And how can we solve this type of questions is, the type 1, when time is given, so time they will be clearly given in the question, and they will be asking us to figure out what is the angle. So in order to solve this type of question, what we need to do is, you just need to remember one simple formula in solving this question. No matter whatever is the time which they are going to give, you can use a simple formula, that is theta is equal to 11 by 2m minus 30h, and make sure you are keeping this formula in modulus. Okay, so if you get negative, you can ignore the negative. So here 8:30, 12:40, whatever is the time, so 8 is indicating the h value, 30 is indicating the m value. You can substitute h and m values in the formula and you will be getting your theta value. Okay, so this is the first type of question. And the second type of question is, angle is given, we need to find out the time. So angle is given, we need to find out the time means, you can just observe this question so that you will understand what is this type is talking about. So between 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. When will be hours and minutes and will be opposite with each other. So opposite with each other means, this is called opposite. Opposite means indirectly what he is trying to convey, they are trying to say that angle is 180 degrees. So when the angle is 180 degrees is a question. For this also the same formula you can use. What is the formula? Theta is equal to 11 by 2m minus 30h. But what is the difference between the type 1 and type 2 is, here it is 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, that means hours and they given it as a 9, and angle is given as 180, that means theta value is given as 180, and what is our task is we need to find out the m value. That's only the difference. So now if you look at this or this, whatever is the type, in this question what is given, so they given the m value, they given the h value, these two are given, and you need to find out this value. So that means the overall solvation of the type 1 and type 2 will depends on only this formula. If the student is able to remember this formula, they can able to solve every question. So only thing is, out of the 3 quantities, 2 quantities are given, 1 unknown quantity we need to find out. So how can we find out that unknown quantity? With one example we'll try to observe. So if this is a question, if 8:30 is the time, what is the angle? You blindly remember the formula. So theta is equal to 11 by 2m minus 30h. So if you observe 8:30 is the time, that means m value is going to be 30. So let me substitute that value here, 11 by 2 into 30 minus 30 into h. H means here it is 8. So we can further simplify this. 2 ones are 2 15s are. 15 into 11 is giving a result as 165, and 8 into 30 it is giving a result as 240. You can just find the difference of this, that will gives your answer choice. So difference of this is 75. So we can say our answer choice is going to be 75 degrees, which is available as option 2. You can mark it as answer choice. So this is what is a type 1. So you can use the other method also, but I am not interested to discuss the other method, because this class main intention is to cover up all 8 topics in a very quick way. So that's why I am going faster. So you can understand I made the PPT of 115 pages. So to cover up that, I should be very clear. I want to wind up the class in 1 hour or mostly 1.5 hours. So the speed or pace will be little increased, because we are not discussing this for the first time. We are discussing for a quick review for tomorrow's exam. That's it. Okay. So hope that keep that point in mind and listen the session. So now if you look at the second one, clocks, whatever is a question which you are going to take, you will get 2 angles. Do not get confused that, for example, you solve the question, you got this angle. Let's assume that you got this angle as 165. So, but in the options 165 is not there. Then don't think that you are doing wrong. So you can observe, they are just asking angle between the minutes and hours end. So either you can calculate this or you can calculate this. Both are indicating the angle between the minutes and hours end also. So if it is 165, what about the other angle? Because we are dealing with a circle. So what is the angle inside the circle? Angle inside the circle is 360 degrees. If you know one angle, this is 165, we can easily get the other angle, that is 360 minus 165, which is going to give a result as 195. So either this is correct or this is correct. Sir, then which one we have to give more priority? This is a question which you are going to have. So we have to give a priority for the non-reflex angle. Non-reflex angle means the angle which is less than 180 degrees. Okay, so mostly they will be giving this, but if you are not able to using that formula, for example, after using this formula, you got an answer 195. And if you find that that option is not available, don't think that you are wrong. So be confident, you got 195, you just subtract it from 360 and you will get the other angle and take the other angle. So for example, after solving, you got this angle as 160 degrees. But what about the other angle? Other angle is going to be 200 degrees. So you can check that if you are not able to see your correct answer in the option choices. Okay, this is another important point which will boost your confidence while you are solving the questions. And these are all practice questions. The practice questions which are displayed here are important questions. You can take the screenshot after the session and you can solve these practice questions. And coming to the type 2 question. So in the type 2 question, just it's a reverse of the previous question. So previously they given the time and they are expecting us to find out the angle. And in this question, they given the angle and they are going to ask us to find out the time. So, and that angle also they will be giving with the 3 cases. One is coincident and perpendicular and opposite. So coincide means they are going to be at the same location. So both are going to be at the same location. That means angle will become 0. And perpendicular means you very well know what is perpendicular. Angle must be equal to 90. And opposite means you can say that these two are going to be opposite. So opposite means it is going to be 180 degrees. Okay. So like that you are going to get the angle in the with the indirect words. So they won't mention angle is 0 directly. So they will mention that when the minutes and hours hand will coincide from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock or 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, like that they will be giving the question. So you just need to look at what is a meaning of coincide and use that angle. So where you have to use this, you have to use this in the formula theta is equal to 11 by 2m minus 30h. This is our formula. So what you need to do here is theta value they will be giving, you substitute here, and hours value they will be giving. And if you observe, this type of questions are given always in this way. So they will give any two consecutive numbers. That means 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock or 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock, 3 to 4, 5 to 6, 6 to 7. Like that any consecutive numbers are given in the question. So because they are giving the consecutive numbers, you can just look at that numbers and solve the question. See, they mention that 9 to 10 when they are going to be opposite with each other. So opposite means what? Angle must be equal to 180 degrees. You can just substitute. And what is the h value which we need to take? Whatever is the first number we are going to see, that is going to act like a h value. So because 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock means you need to figure out the time from after 9. So 9, 10, 9, 15, 9, 30, like that you will be giving the answer. That's the reason h value is always going to be 9. So you can substitute in your formula, you will be getting your answer. Theta is equal to 11 by 2m minus 30h. And now I got the theta value which is equal to 180 degrees. 180 degrees is equal to 11 by 2m. And what is the h value? Because they mentioned it as 9 to 10. So you can take the h value as going to be 9. So it is giving a result as 270, and 270 plus 180, which is giving a result as 450. So but in the circle we are going to have only 360 degrees of angle. So 450 degrees, how you are going to take 450 degrees? You will subtract from 360. So 360 plus 90. So because it is 90 degrees, you will be taking this value. That means if you send this to this side, it will be giving a result as 450. So let me write that step also. 450 is equal to 11 by 2m. So do not get confused. If you solve this further, you will get the minute value which is more than 60. So that is the reason 450 you have to take it as 360 plus 90. So after one circle there is 90 extra. So now you can solve it. So m value is going to be 90 into 2, which is going to be 180 by 11. So 180 by 11 means 11 ones are 11. We left with 70. 11 6 66. We left with a remainder of 4 by 11. So 16 4 by 11. That means answer is at 9 o'clock 16 4 by 11. The minutes and hours and will be opposite with each other. So that we can also narrate like this: 16 4 by 11 minutes past 9 o'clock. That's it. So moving forward to one practice question on the screen. I'm expecting you to type your answer. Thanks, Harsha. Sure, Hickler. That is what our plan is. I am reading the comments. Meanwhile, you can answer the question. YouTube ads are disturbing. Okay, I don't know. Okay, Acha, I'll try to remove. What is the answer? Fast. Yeah, Revant is saying option 4. Yes, Chaitanya is saying option 1. Okay. So 6 to 7 when they are going to be together. Together means what? Theta is going to be 0 degrees. That means coincide. So coincide condition you can take. So they must mention it as coincide. So coincide condition, if you take, theta is equal to 11 by 2m minus 30h. So you can just substitute your values. H value is going to be 6 and theta value is 0. So 11 by 2m minus 30 into 6, which is equal to 180. So 180 is equal to 11 by 2m. From this data, so we can say m value is going to be 360 by 11. So 11 3s are 33. And we left with 30, 11 2s are 22. We left with a remainder of 8 by 11. So mark your answer 32 8 by 11. So that's it. Moving forward with the next type. So in this type of question, they are giving a theoretical bit for us. So how many times they are going to coincide, how many times they are right angle, how many times they are opposite in one day. So for every 12 hours, the coincidence will happen only 11 times. That means in every one day, so the coincidence will happen for 22 times. And right angle will happen for 44 times. And opposite will happen for 22 times. So just remember this, and they will be giving a theoretical question based on this. That means how the question is given is, you can able to observe a question which is available on the screen. So the number of times the minutes hand and hours hand of a clock will coincide in a week. So coincide means what? Coincide means it is going to be together. That means angle will be 0. So how many times they will be coincide in a week is the question. So in one day, how many times the coincidence will happen? Coincidence will happen for 22 times instead of 24 times. So for every 24 hours, 22 times. So in a week, that means you can just multiply this with 7 and you will be able to get your answer. 7 2s are 14, 7 2s are 14, and mark the answer as 154. So or otherwise I will give you another tip for you. So all the questions, whenever you see this type of question, all the values are going to be 11 multipliers. If you can able to identify which is 11 multiplier out of this using the rule of 11 divisibility, difference of alternative digit summation should be equal to 0 or any multiplier of 11, then you can able to make the answer. So you can observe 168 not divisible, 182 not divisible. So I can check the difference of alternative digit summation which is equal to 0 or not. So 154 is a definitely correct answer. Moving forward to the next type. So the next type question is sometimes they are asking the mirror image. So actual time they are giving and they are asking the mirror image time. So do remember this time, this point, actual time plus mirror image time, always the sum is going to be 12 hours. So we can also write this as 11 hours 60 minutes. So for example, they are asking if the actual time is 6:30, what is the mirror image time? So 6:30 means this is a position, mirror image time will be like this. So 5:30 will be the value. And if you add up 6:30 and 5:30, you are going to get the value of 1160. So always use this reference number while you are solving this type of question. So that means we can observe if the time is 8:40, what is the mirror image time is a question. So how can we solve? Just use the reference of 1160. So 8:40 is the actual time they are given. So they are asking us to find out the mirror image time. Sum is always going to be what? Sum is always going to be 1160. So 1160. So you can just make the answer to make it as 1160, 8 plus 3, and this is going to be 20. So mark your answer as 3 o'clock 20 minutes. So that's a simple point. And sometimes you are going to get the questions on loss and gain of the problem. So loss and gain means they will be giving the questions on loss and gains like this. A clock gains 10 minutes in 24 hours. If the clock set at right at 8 a.m. on Sunday, the actual time when it is shows 1 p.m. on Monday. So they are just asking you to use the unitary method to solve this question. So it is exactly set at right at 8 a.m. on Sunday. 8 a.m. on Sunday. Then 1 p.m. on Monday. So 8 a.m. to 8 a.m. on Monday. There is one complete 24 hours is over. And after that 1 p.m. 1 p.m. means from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. How much time gap is there you can observe. So this is 24 hours is over. So now 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. So there is another 5 hours of time is over. So what is the actual loss you need to find out? So for every 24 hours of time, the loss is only 10 minutes. So then for 29 hours of time, what is the loss you can calculate? So 29 divided by 24 into 10. So you can further simplify this. So approximately you will be getting little more than 10. So that you can check out and make the answer choice. So this is 12, this is 5. So 12 ones are 12 twos are 24 and 12 fours are. So 2.4 into 5, which is giving a result as 12 minutes. So 12 minutes means it is going to show 12 minutes less than 1. So 12 minutes less than 1 means 12:48 is going to be your answer choice. Mark the answer choice as option 4. These are all questions are based on the unitary method. It's not a complex concept. That's it. Clock's topic is over. And moving forward to unit number 2. So in unit number 2, you will be having the questions which are related to dice. So how the dice problems are given is, there are only 4 rules are there. You just remember that 4 rules. You can solve all the questions which are related to dice. So what are the 4 rules which we need to remember is, See, basically in dice you will be seeing three types of questions. The first type of question is 3 or 4 different orientations of a die. The second type of question is 2 orientations of a die, and the third type of question is unfolded paper. So these 3 types of questions we majorly going to see in the dice problems. And to solve all these 3 types of questions, what is the thing which is required is you can just remember few rules. So I will tell you the rules, and before I am telling the rules, we'll just understand the structure of the dice. And if you observe the dice will be what it is having, just 6 faces, and it's just like a cube. But in the dice, when we are using the dice for playing, so you will be having some numbers 1 2 3 4 5 6. So it is numbered from 1 2 3 4 5 6, and 6 faces will be there. And if you observe, all the questions on dice will be given in such a way that they will always ask the question as find the opposite face. So opposite to so and so face, what is that number, like that you will be seeing the question. So before you are solving, you just remember these points. So whenever you are solving the dice problems, for any one of the face, only one will be opposite and remaining 4 will be adjacent. So using this point, you can solve the questions of type 1. Sir, how can we solve the questions of type 1 using this point is, I am trying to say that for every face, there are 4 adjacent faces and leftover one is going to be opposite. So you try to figure out the adjacent faces and find out the opposite one. So that is what is rule number 1, which you need to keep it in mind. Opposite is nothing but other than adjacent sides. We'll take one example question so that you will get a clarity on rule number 1. So if you observe this particular question, what is a face opposite to 6 is a question. So opposite to 6 means the face which is at the bottom, this face we need to figure out. So it is not a 3D figure to take out this dice and find out what is opposite to it. So that is the reason what we are trying to do is, in order to find out the opposite face, so you figure out, instead of finding opposite face, you figure out the 4 adjacent faces, leftover term will be opposite. So adjacent are very clearly visible for us, right? For 6, what are adjacent, you figure out 2, 3 are adjacent. For 6, what are adjacent here? 2, 4 are adjacent. For 6, what are adjacent here? 5, 4. So what is the number which is not there, that is going to be treated as opposite. So out of 1 2 3 4 5 6, 1 is not there, so we can say 6 opposite is going to be 1. 6 opposite is going to be 1. So that is what is a point which I have mentioned here. Opposite is defined as other than adjacent sides. Instead of finding opposite directly, you try to figure out the 4 adjacent sides. Leftover term is going to be treated as opposite for us. Okay, hope that point is clear. And moving forward to second rule. So the second rule is talking about whenever you see only 2 dice, and in that 2 dice, if you see 2 faces as common, if 2 faces are common, leftover terms are going to be treated as opposite with each other. That means, for example, we have a question like this. There are 3 positions of a same dice is projected here, and 6 faces in which numbered from 1 to 6. Select the number that will be opposite to the one which is showing as a 1. That means they are just asking what is the face opposite to 1. So if you observe here, 1 is available here. I am trying to apply the rule number 1. So 5, 4. But by knowing 4 adjacent sides, I can say what is opposite. So here 1 is not there. So that is the reason this is not going to be helpful for you to solve the question, rule number 1. So that's why I am given the rule number 2. So rule number 2 is talking about whenever you see 2 dice with the 2 common faces, so then leftover faces are going to be treated as opposite. If you look at these 2 dice, what are common here? You can observe 5, 4, 5, 4. These 2 faces are common. Because 2 faces are common, the leftover terms 2 will be opposite to 1. So they are asking what is opposite to 1, mark the answer as 2. That's simple. Moving forward to rule number 3. So in rule number 3, what I am trying to convey is whenever you see 2 dices where 2 dices are having only 1 face as common, then how to deal with the opposite? So if you have 1 face as common, you can use one method that is called orientation method to mark the answer. See, for example, if you observe this question, which digit will appear on the face opposite to number 4? But in this diagram, number 4 is not there. So do not get confused because number 4 is not available. So now what we need to do is you look at, is there any other common number is available in these 2 dice? Yes, we are able to see another common number which is going to be 3. And they are asking opposite to 4. Okay, leave that. So we have a common number 3 and start with that. And how many faces are common in these 2? We are able to see only 1 face as common. Because we are able to see only 1 face as common, now what you can do is just start with that number, go with the orientation method. So after 3, what is the number? After 3, there is a number 1. After 1, there is a number 2. Just write that numbers. And here also, after 3, what is the numbers? After 3, we have 5. After 5, we have 6. And that's it, you are done with your answer. Sir, how will be done with our answer? See, from this data, you can say 2 opposite will be 6, 1 opposite will be 5, 3 opposite never be 3. It should be some other number. What is the number which is not there? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 is over. So leftover number is 4. So I can definitely say that 3 opposite is 4, but they are asking what is opposite to 4. Mark your answer as 3. Mark your answer as 3. So this is called orientation method. Orientation method means just if you see only one number as common in the data, you have to take that number and go in a clockwise direction for both. And if you want to go with the anti-clockwise direction, do anti-clockwise direction for both. Okay, that is what is the point which I want to convey. So next, moving forward to rule number 4. So rule number 4 is talking about the open dice. So in this question also they will be asking what is opposite. So open dice means, example, they may give the question in this way. You can observe the question, then we'll go back to the information which is required. So they will be giving one paper for us and they are asking us to fold it as a dice, and after folding this as a dice, what is the face opposite to E, what is the face opposite to P, like that they will be giving the question. So you just need to remember one point while you are solving this type of questions. When the folding is happening, so this is how we used to fold. When the folding is happening, to tell the opposite ones directly, just remember one point. Opposite is nothing but next to adjacent side. Opposite is nothing but next to adjacent side. That means for F1, opposite will be what? F3. So because this entire thing is adjacent layer for F1. So next to adjacent will be opposite. For if you look at bottom, for this entire layer is adjacent layer, next to adjacent will be opposite. So these two, top and bottom are opposite. And for F4, this entire layer is adjacent, next to adjacent is opposite. That means F4 and F2 are going to be treated as adjacent. So like that you can just, opposite. So like that you can use this rule to make the answer. So whenever you see open dice question, opposite is defined as next to adjacent side. Opposite is defined as next to adjacent side. Now just look at this question. Tell me what is the answer for this. Tell me what is opposite to E. Yes. What is the answer? Hello, Gaming FF. P and Y. Very good. Someone has given the answer. Yeah. So you can just look at opposite is defined as next to adjacent. What is opposite to E? If it is a question, we can directly say this is an adjacent layer. E opposite will be N. What is opposite to P? So this is adjacent layer. Next to adjacent is opposite. So P opposite will be Y. And what is opposite to M? Leftover terms. So M and A are going to be opposite. But they are asking which of the following pairs. These are opposite pairs. One of the pair is available in the options for us. That is going to be B. You can mark it as answer. Look at the next one. So which of the following cubes can be created by folding this given figure? So this is also same, related to the same type. So I am just expecting you to comment below. So what is opposite to at the rate? Or what is opposite to this dollar symbol? What is opposite to dollar symbol? Can I say percentage will be opposite because next to adjacent? And what is opposite to hash symbol? So hash opposite will be C. And what is opposite to at the rate? So at the rate and this and symbol will be opposite. So they are asking which of the following figure is going to be created after folding. So for this question, I suggest you to use process of elimination method. Sir, how can we use the elimination method and why we cannot see directly the options? See, after folding, you can see the dice in any one of the angle, top angle, front angle, side angle. That's why we cannot say exactly what is going to be the correct answer if you look at the options. So that is the reason I suggest you to solve the question in the reverse way, that is elimination method. So we know these are opposite sides. So you can just check out whether that opposite is given adjacent anywhere, you eliminate them. So these two are opposite, dollar and percentage, but if you observe this is adjacent, this is definitely not a possible answer, eliminate this. Hash and C are going to be opposite, this is looking adjacent, not a possible answer, eliminate this. At the rate and dollar should be opposite, but they given adjacent here, eliminate this. Mark your answer option 2. Mark your answer option 2. Hope you are able to understand this. So like this we can solve the questions which are related to dice. So dice is a very simple topic. You just remember the 3 rules. Rule number 1, opposite is other than adjacent side. Rule number 2, when two faces are common, leftover terms are opposite. Rule number 3, when we have only one face as common, use orientation method. Rule number 4, when you see open dice, opposite is nothing but next to adjacent side. So use these 3 rules, these 4 rules to solve any question from the dice. And moving forward to the next topic, that is nothing but problems which are related to cubes. So cubes questions, how the cubes problems are given, you can just look at, we can see 2 types of questions in cubes. The type 1 question is, they will give number of cuts, they will be asking the number of pieces. This is the first type question. And the second type of question which you are going to see is, cube is painted on all the faces, then cut into smaller pieces, then how many of the cubes are 3 side painted, 2 side painted, 1 side painted, no side painted. That's another type of question. So in the first type of question, number of cuts and number of pieces they will be giving. So number of cuts and number of pieces, when you are solving the number of cuts and number of pieces, just do remember few important points. So number of cuts and number of pieces, for example, there is a cube like this, you are making 3 cuts, then how many pieces you are going to get? If you are making 3 cuts, how many pieces you are going to get? So 1 cut will give 2 pieces, 2 cut will give 3 pieces, 3 cuts will give 4 pieces. So this is one possible answer. But the same cube is there, you are making 3 cuts. So now I am making the cuts like this. 1 cut, I am getting 2 pieces. Second cut I am making like this, I am getting 4 pieces. Third cut I am making like this, I am getting 8 pieces. So for the same 3 cuts, I have 2 answers here. So one is 4, the other one is 8. So that means you can understand when we are making the cuts, number of pieces can be 4 or 8. That means number of pieces, they will definitely specify this, whether they want a minimum number of pieces or maximum number of pieces. That means the question narration will be given in this way. So if they are making some X cuts, what is the minimum number of pieces? If they are making some X cuts, what is the maximum number of pieces? So they will clearly mention what is the minimum and maximum. Based on that, you will be solving the question. So now if you look at the questions which are related to this, the only one point which I am expecting you to remember is, so when you are making n cuts, you are going to get n plus 1 pieces. That means if you are making 1 cut, you will get 2 pieces, 2 cuts, you will get 3 pieces, 3 cuts, you will get 4 pieces, 4 cuts, you will get 5 pieces. So n cuts will make n plus 1 pieces. If you want the minimum number of cuts, you make the cuts along one axis. That means you can observe here, I just made the cuts on only one axis. That's why I got the minimum number of pieces. But if you want the maximum number of pieces, what you need to do is make the cuts along the x and y and z axis. Make the cuts along x and y and z axis means you can just make the cuts like this, one on x axis, one on y axis, one on z axis, so that you will get the maximum number of pieces. So that means you have to distribute your cuts on the x and y and z axes. So how the example will be given, just you will take one example here. How many minimum number of pieces you are going to get by making 18 cuts is a question. So if you are making 18 cuts, so how many minimum pieces you will be getting? Minimum means you can just remember, just now we have discussed n cuts will make n plus 1 pieces, right? If you are making 18 cuts, how many pieces you are going to get? Yes, absolutely. You are going to get 19 pieces. So like that, they will be giving the minimum. Minimum is not going to be challenging part for us. So if they are asking what is the maximum number of pieces for the same 18 cuts. So what I told you, if you want the maximum number of pieces, you distribute your cuts into 3 axes. And 18 is very comfortable number to distribute equally to all the 3. Because we can make 6 cuts on x axis, we can make 6 cuts on y axis, we can make 6 cuts on z axis. So 6 cuts will give how many pieces? N cuts, n plus 1 pieces, right? So 6 cuts, 7 pieces, 6 cuts, 7 pieces, 6 cuts, 7 pieces. So we got 7, 7, 7. You just multiply them to get the maximum number of pieces which we are going to get, which is going to be 7 cube, which is 343, available as A. Mark it as an answer choice. So this is one type of question. And the same thing, if it is not 18, if you have any other number, say for example 14 cuts, what is the minimum pieces? Mark the answer 15. But 14 cuts, what is the maximum number of pieces? Now if you want to distribute, it is not going to be distributed equally to all the 3. So it will be having not a 3 multiplier. So how can we distribute in this case? So in this case, I suggest you to distribute the numbers almost all equal numbers. So almost all equal numbers means 14, how can we write it? So 14 can be written as 5 plus 5 plus 4. So 5 cuts on the x-axis, 5 cuts on y-axis, 4 cuts on z-axis. 5 cuts will give 6 pieces, 5 cuts will give 6 pieces, 4 cuts will give 5 pieces, and 6 into 6, 36 into 5, which is going to be 180. Mark it as option C. So this is a one type of question. You can also expect the reverse question also. That means sometimes they will give the number of pieces, they will ask the number of cuts. So if the same question, if you are getting 343 pieces, what is the minimum cuts required? The same question, answer is 18. But how you need to solve? So just reverse of this. So 343, first distribute. 343 pieces, 7 pieces, 7 pieces, 7 pieces. 7 pieces means you have to make 6 cuts, you have to make 6 cuts, you have to make 6 cuts. 6 cuts, 6 cuts, 6 cuts, totally 18 cuts. That's the answer choice. So like that you will be solving the question. It's not going to be challenging part for us. And moving forward to the second type question. So cubes, second type of question is always narrated in such a way that a cube is painted outside and cut into smaller pieces. Then how many of them are 3-side painted, 2-side painted, 1-side painted, no side painted? This is what is the pattern of the question. So they will give a passage based question. There will be 3 questions under the cube. And I'm taking a very simple example here. So for example, they given any question based on this. So a cube is having 4 centimeter long, then it is painted yellow color on all the faces, then it is cutted into smaller equal pieces of 1 centimeter each. Then how many of them are going total cubes, how many are 3-side painted, how many are 2-side painted, like that they given the question. So first of all, before you are solving this question, what I suggest you to do is observe few important points. So this point is going to play a very important role. So whenever you see any question on 3-side painted, so 3-side painted means you can only see 3-side painted at the corners, and you cannot see any cube which is painted more than 3 sides. So whenever you see 3-side painted question, 3-side painted will be always on vertices. How many vertices you will be seeing? Vertices are corners. So we can see 8 vertices. Whenever 3-side painted question is given, directly think about the corners are vertices. There are 8 vertices are there. So mostly or most of the cases our answer will be 8 only. And whenever 2-side painted question is there, 2-side painted means you just need to focus on edges. So how many edges the cube is having, you have to observe. So if you focus on one edge will have how many you count and multiply with the number of edges. So for every cube you are going to see 12 edges. So you calculate for one edge and multiply with 12. And whenever you see 1-side painted, so 1-side painted will be available only on faces. So you have to observe how many faces are there. So there are 6 faces for a cube, and calculate for one face and multiply with 6. Okay, that is what is our task. Whenever you see 3-side painted, immediately you have to remember vertices, and there are 8 vertices. Whenever you see 2-side painted, immediately you have to remember edges. There are 12 edges are available. Whenever you see 1-side painted, then think about the faces. There are 6 faces are there. So you calculate for 1 and multiply with that. So that is a one approach. And no side painted, just total cubes minus this will give the no side painted. Okay, so we'll take one simple example here. So there is a cube of 4 centimeter. So then it is cut into smaller pieces of 1 centimeter is the narration of the story. So that means if you observe one face, any one of the face, how the cutting should be 1, 2, 3. So if you make 3 cuts, you will get 4 pieces like this. So they just mentioned that. So 1, 1, 1, 1, 4, it is matching. So 1, 2, 3. So this is what is our figure, 4 by 4 figure you are getting. How many smaller cubes you will be getting? So how many cuts you are making here? 3 cuts, right? So 3 cuts you are making on x-axis, 3 cuts on y-axis, 3 cuts on z-axis. 3 cuts will make 4 pieces, 4 pieces, 4 pieces. And to get the total number of pieces, you just multiply them. 4 cube, which is equal to 64. Answer for the question number 1 is going to be 64. Answer for the question number 1 is going to be 64. So you can directly mark the answer choice as 64 here. How many of the smaller cubes are going to be there? How many of them are 3-side painted? No matter whatever is the question, 3-side painted will be at the vertices only. How many vertices will be there? 8 vertices will be there. Mark the answer 8. How many smaller cubes have only 2 faces painted? So only 2 faces painted means, so you have to think about edges. So how many edges you are going to see? You are going to see 2 edges. You are going to see 2 cubes on one edge. So how many edges you are going to see? 12 edges. So you can just multiply 12 into 2, which is going to give a result as 24. And if you have how many are 1-side painted? So anyways, this whole thing is gone for corners and edges. So what is left over? These 4 are going to be left over on one face. So on one face I found 4 cubes which are one side painted, but I am going to have 6. So 6 into 4, 24 should be my answer for the fourth question. How many are no side painted? So for this, you just look at what is the total cubes, which are 64, and how many are going to be one side, two side, three side painted. You can observe 48 plus 8, which is going to be 56. So out of them, 56 are going to be painted. So remaining 8 are going to be no side painted. So your answer must be 8. Or otherwise, you can also use the other logic. So you can observe the dimensions. Dimensions are 4 by 4 by 4. So you can decrease 2 for every dimension, 2 by 2 by 2. You will get your answer as 8. Okay. So that is what is a point which I want to convey here. If you want to remember the formula, you can also remember the formula. You can just take the screenshot of this. So you can see 3 side painted 8. We got that. 2 side painted. You can just use, because 4 by 4 by 4 is a dimension. You can just take 4 minus 2. That is going to be 2. 2 into 12, 24. That's what we got. If it is one side painted, 4 minus 2, 2 square, 4 into 6, which is again giving a result as 24. We got the same. And 4 minus 2, which is 2 cube, which is equal to 8. So like that, you can also blindly remember this formula and put n value there. You will get the answer choice. So this is generalization for n by n by n figure. Okay. So mostly you will be getting the questions of cubes problems in that way. Moving forward to the next type. So next type is going to be questions which are related to syllogisms. So syllogisms questions you can solve effectively if you can use the Venn diagram approach. You can easily crack the questions. So what you need to remember is you can just use these figures while you are solving the questions. So what are the figures which we have to use is, for example, all A's are B's. So you can take A's like this. All A's are B's. You can represent in this way. So or otherwise you can also represent like this. So you can take A's like this and you can take B's like this. So all A's are B's. We can represent in this way. No A is B. That means A and B should not overlap. You can just keep them like this. And some A's are B's. That means these are A's. Some of these A's are going to be B's. You can represent like this. So you can you have a multiple figures. You can do it with any one of the figure as per our statements. Some A's are not B's. So these A's are B's and these A's are not B's. So like that. So if you remember how to draw, this is nothing to remember here. If you know how to draw the diagram, so from the diagram you can mark the option choices. How the question is narrated, always you are going to see syllogism question pattern like this. So what is the question pattern of syllogisms? So syllogism question, you are going to see 2 statements. So these statements followed by 2 conclusions. Your task is to draw the diagram using the statements, and after that read the conclusion and decide your answer choice. If you decide like only conclusion 1 follows, mark the answer as option A. If you decide like only conclusion 2 follows, mark the answer as option B. If you feel like either 1 or 2 will follow, mark the answer as option C. If you feel like neither 1 or not 2 follows, mark the answer as option D. And if you feel like both 1 and 2 will follow, mark the answer as E. This is what is our task. You don't need to worry about these options. Options are anyways given in the question. So your task is to read the statements, draw the diagram, and then you look at the conclusions. So I'm just taking a simple example just to go for a quick review. So all books are pens is a first statement. So all pens are pencils is a second statement. Conclusions, all books are pencils, some pencils are pens. So don't read the complete sentence. What you do is read the first sentence, first statement, and draw the diagram. So read only the statements, not the conclusions. Because if you read conclusions initially, it is not going to be useful. It is just wasting your time. So that's why what I'm suggesting you to do is, first you read the statements clearly. All books are pens. All books are pens. Let me draw like this. All books are pens. And all pens are pencils. All pens are pencils. So we are done with the diagram. Some books are pencils. Some books are pencils. Is that true or not? You have to check out. So some books are pencils. Is that true? Yes, it is definitely going to be true. So why it is true? You can observe these some books. That means this smaller circle is inside the larger circle. So we can definitely say that some books are pencils is possible conclusion. And some pencils are pens. So if you observe, these are pencils, some of these pencils are pens. So definitely it is also correct. So because these 2 are correct, you will be marking the answer choices, both 1 and 2 will follow. You will be marking the answer as both 1 and 2 will follow. So like that. So you will be having the question in that way. So let's look at the second question and expecting your answer. Just tell me what is the answer choice in the chat box. Fast. Use the chat box and respond quickly. What is the answer? One conclusion, one follows, two follows, both follows, neither follows, either follows. Whatever is the answer, you just use the chat box and tell me. Waiting for your response. Just draw the diagram using the statements. After drawing the diagram, you just look at the conclusions and tell me the answer. So all trees are gardens, some trees are fruits. So you can just take like this, all trees are gardens and some trees. So to pull some trees, I am drawing the diagram or changing the diagram like this. All trees are gardens, some trees are going to be fruits. So you are done with the diagram. Some trees are fruits. So is that true? Yes, it is true. So all gardens are fruits. So these gardens are not fruits. It's wrong. So you can conclude that only conclusion 1 will follow. Only conclusion 1 will follow. So like that. Okay. Hope you understand. So that is what is a syllogism. I don't want to waste much time. And another quick overview on the seating arrangement questions. So in seating arrangement questions, you are going to see linear and circular arrangement. All are paragraph type questions. Under one passage, you are going to see 3 or 4 questions. So to solve seating arrangement questions, please do remember the 6 rules. Out of that, 6th rule is very important. If you use this rule, you will avoid the confusion with the left and right. So left right directions confusion will be there for most of the students. So avoid that confusion using this diagram. So you can just simply remember this: east, west, north, south, and start from above east. So left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Just remember the army march. So start from above east. That means that this diagram is trying to convey that when the person is facing towards east, when the person is facing towards east, what is the left and what is the right for him, it is trying to tell us. So if a person is facing towards east, this will be the left and this will be the right. So that is the meaning of this. So you can just use this diagram to get the left and right. And this is also when a person is facing towards north, this will be the right and this will be the left. So this diagram will be helpful in direction sense and as well as seating arrangement. Anyways, we'll use that while we are solving, because they will say that in the seating arrangement question 6 persons are sitting and facing towards north, facing towards south, like that. So that time you can use this and make the answer. And other rules which I want to tell you is rule number 1, always place a variable which is there in front of the punctuation mark. That means, for example, if you see the condition like this, C is sitting second to the left of F. Don't place C first, place F first. And rule number 2, opposite will come into the picture if and only if even number of people are available. So for example, 4 members are there, 6 members are there, 8 members are there. So that time opposite will come into the picture. Rule number 3, AND condition. How can we understand the condition of AND? So for example, you have a condition like this: A is the immediate right of B and is left of C. So AND always refers to the first person. That means if you want to split this into 2 statements, the meaning of this statement is A is the immediate right of B, this is 1, and is left of C. So AND refers to the first person, so A is left of C. That's the meaning. And similarly, the condition of who. So who refers to the nearest person. So you can observe A is the immediate left of B, A is the immediate left of B, and who is immediate left of C. So who is immediate left of C means what? So B is immediate left of C. B is immediate left of C. That's the meaning of who. So you can just use that whenever who comes, that refers to the nearest person. So just we'll take one simple example and I'll explain you how to solve the question, or you can just solve. So use that rules to make the answers. So 5 persons sit in a circular table facing towards the center. So there are 5 persons are there and they are facing towards the center. Very important statement for us. So facing towards the center means, for example, there is a person who is sitting here. So this person will be facing like this. So what is this called? He is facing towards north. When a person is facing towards north, what is the left, what is the right, you can observe. So this is the right, this is the left. So now the question is, 5 persons are sitting in a circular face facing towards the center, and T is second to the right of R. So let's place R here. That is what is the point which I told you in the starting. So first place a variable which is there in front of the punctuation mark. So first place R here. So if you place R here, T is the second right of R. So because this is a right and this is a left for the T, so second right means we can place T here. And next, and is also second left of P. And refers to first person, that means T is a second left of P. So left means this direction, T is a second left of P means if you place P here, this is a first left, this is a second left, that will match. And S is not sitting between R and T. So S is not here means S is definitely here because only one place is left. So out of this, who is left over, P, Q or S, T? So Q is left over, you can place here. So who is immediate left of P is a question. So you can observe P is here, immediate left of P is S, available as 4, mark it as answer. So what is your task is just take that statements, put together and you will get the arrangement. So second example. So if A, B, C, D, F, how many persons? 6 persons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are facing towards north. So E and F are at the center. So E and F are at the center. So it can be EF or it can be FE. You can use two diagrams, rough diagram also. And you are able to see A and B are at the ends. C is sitting left to B. So assuming that they are facing towards north, this is a left and this is a right and this is the left. They mention that F is sitting A and B are the ends. That means it can be A and B like this or it can be B and A like this. So this is a possibility. But if you observe the next statement, C is sitting left to B. So left means this direction. So C is sitting left to B means B must be placed here. So because if you place B here, you won't see any left. So that is the reason the proper diagram will be A and B like this only. C is in the left direction of B. And F is sitting right of D. F is sitting right of D means we can place D here. And you are done with the diagram. Who is sitting, what is the question? Who is sitting to the right of E? So for E, the right direction is going to be this. So we can say F and then C. So C is possible. These three people are there, but out of this only C is available in the option. You can mark the answer choice as option 2. So like that the puzzles are given. So I'm just giving one puzzle. Take a screenshot and do the practice of this question. And then you will be seeing the last topic, that is time and distance, trains and boats, unit number 1. So I just want to quickly go with the recap of the topic. So in time and distance you will see two types of questions. That type 1 question is one unknown. That means out of the 3 parameters of time and speed and distance, one parameter is given as unknown. You can use the respective formula. Speed is equal to distance by time. Distance is equal to speed into time. Time is equal to distance by speed. Any one of this formula you can use and you can get the required quantity. So anyways, they will be giving 2 quantities. You can use that and solve. But the major challenging part is conversion. Please make sure that when you are taking distance in kilometer, time need to be in hours, speed need to be in kilometer per hour. When you are taking distance in terms of meter, time need to be in seconds and speed need to be in meter per second. So intentionally they will be giving time in terms of minutes, and they will be asking speed in kilometer per hour, and they will be giving distance in terms of meter. So you have to make sure you are converting into one form before you are proceeding with the solvation of the question. So for that you can just remember 1 kilometer per hour means 1 kilometer is 1000 meter, 1 hour means 60 minutes, 1 minute is 60 seconds, that means 3600 seconds. So if you further simplify, you can able to come across with this relation. 1 kilometer per hour is equal to 5 by 18 meter per second. 1 meter per second will be equal to 18 by 5 kilometer per hour. So use this relations while you are solving the question. How the questions are given? You can observe this question. How long a boy will take to run around a circular field of the side 35 meters at the rate of 9 kilometer per hour. So they are asking the time. So what is the formula for time? So time will be given as distance divided by speed. So the distance is given 35 meters and he's run around the field. This field means you have to take the perimeter of it. So that means 35 into 4. That's a total distance covered. And what is the speed? They given 9. So this is given in terms of meter. That's why I'm converting kilometer per hour into meter per second. How can we convert? So 9 into 5 by 18. So if you further simplify this, you will be getting your result. So 9 ones are 9 twos are, and 5 ones are 5 sevens are. So 7 into 8 is giving the answer as 56. So you can mark your answer choice as 56 seconds. So that is what is the first type. So in the first type, one unknown quantity, but make sure that you are just need to convert into one form to mark the answer. And similarly, the same questions you will be seeing in trains. But in the trains, you will be seeing only 4 cases: train crossing stationary object and moving object. So the first case you can observe, When a train is trying to cross an object which is having no length, that means they will give this type of terms. A train is trying to cross a pole, a train is trying to cross a tree, or a train is trying to cross a man, a train is trying to cross a station master. All these objects are negligible length. You don't need to consider the length of that. So that means they will be asking the time. Time basic formula is distance by speed. So here distance covered will be, so just crossing this means it is covering its own length. So that is the reason you can take the distance covered will be length of the train and divided by speed of the train. So one example question will take at the end. So this time is equal to distance by speed. Use this formula. Here distance covered is nothing but directly length of the train. But in most of the cases, length is given in meters, speed is given in kilometer per hour, and time they will be giving in seconds. So use the basic conversion to make the answer. Similarly, train crossing an object which is having some length. That means train is crossing an object which is having some length. That means they may say that it is a platform or bridge or tunnel or stationary train. What is the time taken to cross? So time basic formula is distance by speed. So here distance is nothing but length of the train plus length of the bridge divided by speed of the train. So why? Because crossing this means it covers its length, its own length, and bridge length also. So that is what I have mentioned here. So use a basic standard formula, distance by speed. And then other two cases are based on two objects are moving. When two objects are moving in the same direction, relative speed is v1 minus v2. If they are moving in the opposite direction, relative speed will be taken as v1 plus v2. So use that while you are solving. Here the question is narrated in such a way that the two trains are there, they are moving in the same direction. What is the time taken to cross each other? So time basic formula is what? Distance by speed. Because the two trains are moving, the total distance covered will be length of the train 1 plus train 2, and speed will be, because they are moving in the same direction, s1 minus s2. Use this formula. And if they are moving in the opposite direction, the same thing, time will be given as distance by speed. Here distance is nothing but train 1 plus train 2, speed is nothing but s1 plus s2 because they are moving in the opposite direction. Okay, so that is what is a point which you can remember, and these are all practice questions. So you can observe a simple question. A 240 meters long train crosses a platform of 360 meters in 36 seconds. What is the speed is a question. What is the formula for speed? Distance by time. So distance is 240 meters plus 360 meters. How much? It will be 600. Divided by time is given as 36. This will give the answer in meter per second, but they given in kilometer per hour. How can we convert? By multiplying with 18 by 5. So 18 ones are 18 twos are, and 5 into 2 is 10. It will cancel. You are getting 60. Mark it as A. So all are simple questions. It's not going to be complicated. So I am giving some practice question. Take the screenshot after finishing the live. Go to this practice questions. Take the screenshot and do the practice. Okay. So these are all practice questions. And similarly, you can see the questions on time and distance on type 2. That is one constant. Previously one unknown. Now it is one constant. That means they may narrate the story by keeping distance as constant. That time you can use the formula as s1t1 is equal to s2t2, because basic formula for distance is s into t. S into t is constant, means s1t1 is equal to s2t2. And the point to be noted here is, when distance is kept as constant, speed and time are inversely proportional. If you are going with more speed, you will take less time to reach the destination. So similarly, you may get the question where time is kept as constant. So that means what is the task is, after reading the question, you have to realize what is kept as constant and use the respective formula. So time is kept as constant. Time formula is distance by speed. So you can use the formula as d1 by s1 is equal to d2 by s2. So similarly, speed constant you will be seeing. Speed formula is distance by time. So you can use the formula d1 by t1 is equal to d2 by t2. So similarly, average speed formula, total distance traveled by total time taken. So these basic formulas you are going to see. And this type of questions you are getting repeatedly in the exam. Walking at 4 by 5 of usual speed, I missed the bus by 5 minutes. That means he is late by 5 minutes. What is the usual time? So this type of question, so that means the traveling distance is constant. So whether it is walking or running, no matter, the traveling distance is constant. If he is walking with a speed of s, he may reach in the time of t. So that means s into t is the total distance in the first case. And now he is going with 4 by 5 of usual speed. That means he is going with the less speed. Then the time taken is 5 minutes late. That means t plus 5. This, if you further simplify, you will get the value of t. So s and s will be cancelled. 5t is equal to 4t plus 20. They are asking what is the t value. So you will be getting the t value as 20 minutes. Mark it as option C. Okay. So that is what is questions. You can just look at the practice questions. And sometimes in boats and streams, you just remember these formulas. Downstream means boat speed plus water speed. Upstream means boat speed minus water speed. And sometimes upstream, downstream are given. They will be asking speed of boat or speed of water. That time you can use the formulas. So speed of the boat will be downstream plus upstream divided by 2. Speed of the water will be downstream minus upstream divided by 2. So use these formulas while you are solving the question. I'll take one example. A man rows 7 kilometers upstream, 20 kilometers downstream, taking 3 hours each time. So what is his speed in still water? His speed means they are asking what is the speed of the boat. So 7 kilometers 3 hours upstream. So and 12 kilometers downstream, taking 3 hours each time. So you can have the distance traveled and time taken. So you will get the speed of upstream, you will get the speed of downstream. Speed of the boat means upstream plus downstream divided by 2. You can use the respective formula, you will be getting your answer choice. So like this you will be getting the questions. It's not challenging questions, very simple basic addition, subtraction, division based questions. So that's it. You can take the screenshots of the questions which I am displaying and try to practice these questions. And thank you so much. Wish you all the best for your exam. Okay guys, so that's the session. Please follow the instructions and make sure you're doing everything properly. Okay, thank you guys.